Hello and welcome to episode 143 of Heroes of Handheld. This is the internet's best weekly handheld gaming plus other stuff podcast, hosted by two lovable scabs with a little bit of a chip on their shoulders this week. My name's Chris and his name is Colin.
Hi, I'm Colin. I'm the one they call Colin with the stupid hair. My hair looks ridiculous today, as you can probably see. Look at that. That is like a wave. Look, like a little point here.
It's like a kind of like a half fringe.
It's like I'm an emo from 2008. Do you remember the hair that all the emos used to have back in like the earlier part of the 2000s, like the 2006, 7, 8 time, when it was like that fringe that went across the forehead,
the eye,
and just above the eye and curled down past the eyebrow. What were we thinking, Chris? What was I talking of hair and stupid hair? Did you see? You did because you liked it, but I'm gonna act as if I didn't see that you liked it.
Oh, okay.
What did you think of? Did you see the thing that I tagged you in on Twitter a few days ago?
I'm gonna rewatch it because it's too good.
It's 5 seconds of joy. There's two things that makes me sad about that clip. It's from 2013, which is weird. It's only 3 years ago. It feels like a lifetime ago, really. There's two shocking things about that. It's firstly how obsessed I was with Vine. Do you remember Vine? Do you remember when people got Vine famous?
Vine.
I loved it, and I was looking back at all my old Vines the other day.
Oh, that hair!
I know. That's the second point. Seriously, people, we all retweet this on the Heroes of Handheld Twitter. It's me, Chris, and Chris's actual flatmate. Actually, we started a very temporary band. Did we even have a name? What was our band name?
I don't think we had a name. I'm just rewatching this on a loop. It's too good.
Now, for anyone who didn't use Vine, it basically let you record 5 second videos, and it would loop endlessly. And the video in question was when we had a band practice, me, Chris, and Chris's flatmate Rob. And Chris is on the drums, Rob is on the guitar, I'm on the bass. And it's nice to look back. It's one of these things where you look back and that was a nice time in our lives, wasn't it?
I've just tweeted it so people can watch it at home.
So go to search Handheld Podcast on Twitter, and you too can bask in the glory. But the thing you have to look out for, the best part of that video is Chris's hairdo.
It's quite staggering, isn't it?
Has anyone told you that you looked remarkably similar to Shaggy off of Scooby-Doo?
It does come up a lot, yeah.
Yeah, hair.
It's such a great video. Do check this out. 5 seconds of pure joy.
Another one that I found, which I didn't tweet, but it's also one to give it an honourable mention, was one where Chris was flying around our university campus.
Oh, that's golden.
That got I think that got my most likes out of all my Vine video, because basically there's a clever technique where you recorded little segments, but it's like stop motion, where every time someone jumped, you'd record, and you'd by making a 5 second video out of it looked like they were flying. But the best one I did was Chris floating along the campus. It was quite something. It really is quite something. It's funny because it looks like his feet are being dragged along because of the way he was jumping. It's brilliant.
It's staggering. We should share it somehow.
We should, if I can be bothered. Anyway, so that's fun times, and our hair looks a lot better than mine doesn't. But your hair looks a lot better than it did back then. No offense.
Thanks, mate.
Do you still play the drum? Do you still have your drum kit?
I don't have a drum kit in London, but I have dabbled over it, yes.
Do you get the saucepans and pans out and start smashing them with and
plates spoons as well?
Brilliant. Right, so what were you going to say? You were going to say something, I think.
I was just going to say that it's interesting that we're talking about hair and bands because it's been such a big week.
I don't get your reference, bro.
But if you're in the UK, there's been some things sure have happened over here, haven't they?
Well, pretty much the whole of the UK has crashed and burned in the past 6 days.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. I think the riots are forming outside both of our flats at the moment, so I think we haven't got much time left, really. I think we're about to die, basically.
It's staggering how quickly, since we recorded last Wednesday, and we had like an off-air chat a little bit about politics.
Hi,
Emma. And then Colin says hi.
Hi, Colin.
Hi, Colin.
Or repeat what your girlfriend says now.
No, it's the life.
Right, fight the power. Anyway.
Yeah, this time last week we were like, oh, what's going to happen in the vote thing? And now here in the UK, oh boy, we're all moving, we're all off. I'm going to Czechoslovakia. Colin, where are you going to go?
I'm going to end up in Croatia, I think. I fancy a trip to the Croatian coastline. I think Croatia's actually a nice place. I think it's near Italy. I think. Quite a nice place, I hope. Anyway, basically what the message we're trying to put across and what we're trying to say is that anywhere is better than the UK at the moment because, yeah, we're not going to go into too much detail.
I mean, it's been like there's been some really big stuff happening, Colin, but the fact that we left, what we did, so is just so depressing and it's affected so many people. And it's amazing that it came down to 2-1. Like, I thought, I thought it would be close. I thought it'd go 2-2 and then extra time, maybe penalties. But no, it just came down to 2-1 and now we're out of Europe.
Not satisfied of being kicked out of Europe in just one sense of the word. We've been kicked out of Europe twice in 1 week, which is quite something for England, really.
Oh, what's happened apart from the European Cup?
Well, we got beaten by our national football team, who were paid millions and millions of British pounds, who have agents, who have flashy cars and mansions in the countryside, were beaten by a bunch of part-time footballers from a country called Iceland. And it's pretty depressing when you think that the population of Iceland is 300,000 people, which is just shy of the population of Leeds and the population of Leicester. So when you put that
staggering, isn't it?
And when you think that half of the population are female, that means only 150,000 men are in Iceland. But then when you narrow it down to the age range you have to be to play football, it narrows it down to about 30,000. And that's about the same as an attendance of one football match in the UK, one Premiership match. And you think that we lost 2-1. England football team lost 2-1 to Iceland. But not only were we terrible and shambolic, but the Icelandic fans even had better chance than us, which really does just, make it even worse. I mean, did you hear the chants that the Iceland fans were?
I didn't know because the TV was on fairly quiet in the pub I was watching it at. What were the chants?
Basically, they go, literally, it's like that, and this whole 3,000 Icelandic fans all in one of the stands. They go like a Viking chant because obviously Iceland was known for Vikings. It really was quite intimidating. And at the end of the game, when they were the players were celebrating with their supporters, they were all doing this chant. I have to find a link to it. It really is impressive. But yeah, we're out of Euro 2016. We went out with a whimper. Our manager's been sacked, and all our players are terrible. So we wait and see what happens next, because we've got another 2 years. Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to qualify for the next World Cup, which is in 2018. We'll qualify easily. We'll breeze through the group. Then we'll get to the finals in Russia, and we will do terrible once again. So we look forward to that. Sometimes I just wonder why I bother liking football, when we're just awful. But I think the story you told me about your experience watching the game on Monday, you said your pub was next to a
supermarket, yeah, called Iceland. And when I left, I think there was some trouble brewing,
The amount of jokes I saw on Twitter and Facebook about Iceland was quite something. The best one I saw was Joe Hart's England's goalkeeper, and he should have saved one of the goals that Iceland scored. He pretty much just let it in because he's rubbish. Well, he's not rubbish, but he was terrible in that game. And the joke was you're supposed to save by going to Iceland, but Joe Hart didn't save anything or something like that. But there were a lot of funny jokes like that. Anyway, that's the depressing topics done with. So we're out of Europe in every sense of the word, and we're all gonna burn. We're all gonna burn. And Boris for Prime Minister. Anyway, let's move on, shall we? Right, so let's talk about something handheld gaming, because that's what this podcast is all about. So, what have you been playing this week, Chris?
Well, Colin, I've mainly. Do you remember? So last week for 99 apps, I downloaded a game called Pocket World. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do.
I started playing, and on the description, it was described as an elf trading card game or something like that.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
I started playing it this weekend, and I can confirm that it's not quite an elf trading card game. It is instead the world's worst Pokemon ripoff. So I'm playing it at the moment just so I can, talk about it on air. It is just so bad. I don't really understand what happens. You just go to places and it's like these kind of knockoff sprites of different Pokemon, and they kind of attack each other automatically. You don't really do anything. You just kind of sit there and watch. Like the story is rubbish and it's just bad. But the best thing about it is the I'm just playing on my phone at the moment, is the translation of the captions.
Okay.
So I don't know if you saw this on Twitter. I was tweeting some screen grabs, and I'll do some more after this podcast because there's some hilarious translation. It's just the worst. You meet Pikachu fairly early on. I'm just going to read you some of the lines of conversation. When you meet Pikachu, he says, "Pika, Pika, Pika." Brackets, who are you? I do not want to care about you, idiot.
Well, Pikachu says that.
You also meet Pikachu, who shouts, "Damn, you are more populous than me." You meet Jesse off of Team Rocket, and Jesse says, "Kid, I've just touched you a bit and you lost so many HP. Just give it to me."
That's what happens when you translate your game using Google Translate.
But my favorite of all of them is when you meet up with Misty, obviously from the TV show, second gym leader, who says, "If you do not want me to follow, buy me a bicycle as compensation." It's just so shit.
Dialogue there.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this for anyone. It was I thought it was going to be a good game because nowhere when you are looking at the screen grabs on the store, it doesn't mention Pokemon or anything at all.
But
and then you start.
They have used everything Pokemon, haven't they?
Yeah, it's like surely it should be illegal. Yeah, I'm not really a fan. I find it funny because I like to know, what the weird translations are. But it's just absolutely pants. The combat system is non-existent. The level up system is, rubbish. They don't explain anything. You just sort of have to watch stuff happen in front of you. The story, if there is a story, is probably okay if you're playing it in the original language, but I'm not. So, yeah, not very keen, if honest.
So, do they actually use the names of the characters from Pokemon, or do they change them slightly?
All the Pokemon are named after the Pokemon.
Pikachu.
Pikachu is on it. It's just a bit.
How can they use the name Pikachu? Surely that's trademarked.
I don't. Well, I think this will probably be taken off the store fairly soon. You would imagine.
But it's quite high up. You see, it's 99. That's not that low down when you think about all the apps on the store. There's loads of apps on the Android Google Play Store, so that must be getting a following.
They also, I think what they changed partly is all the Pokemon are renamed as pets. So you'll select something. It'll be like select your pet. But yeah, I'm uninstalling this now. It's a bit dilge. What was your 99 app?
Can I just say something? So the dialogue in that game, what was it called again?
Pocket World.
Are you saying that it was written by Vince Gilligan?
No.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, he's the writer from Breaking Bad and X-Files. A few X-Files episodes.
X-Files? I didn't realize that.
He didn't write all of them. He wrote some of them.
Fair enough. Fair dues. Well, that's a shame. Well, my game, I'm happy to say, was a lot more positive than yours, it seems. The 99th app on the top grossing area of the store on iOS was a game called, wait for it, Stack.
Oh, yes. We like Stack.
Yes, I know you played it a few weeks ago and you were mentioning how addictive it is. Really enjoying it. It's very, very simple, easy to just pick up and play it. Very addictive as well. Like, it's definitely one of those games where you get the just one more go mental state of it. Like, basically, if any of you haven't heard the podcast or spoke about it, you make a tower by stacking blocks. But if you don't stack the block perfectly on top of the one you've just placed, the part that wasn't placed perfectly on the block will fall away. So the worse your positioning becomes, the smaller the blocks become, and the smaller the blocks become, the harder it is to continue, and the faster it goes until you have no blocks left, and it ends there. My high score is, I think it's 76. Yeah, my high score is 76 at the moment. I'm making it sound complicated. Basically, you just have to tap the screen where you want the next block to be placed, and you've got to try and place it as perfectly as possible. If you don't do it perfectly, as I said, the bits that aren't on it, the parts of your block that aren't on there perfectly will be cut off, so your block gets smaller and smaller. But if you go on a streak of placing a certain amount perfectly, so if you do 10 perfectly in a row, I think your block gets a bit bigger. So that's a positive thing. But my high score is 70. I think it was 76. Yeah, remember? 76. So I'll be interested to know what Chris's high score is, but I think he's deleted it, so that's a shame. But if anyone wants to try, it's free on Android and iOS. It's called Stack. Download it today. It's a very fun game. Pick up and play. Kills a few minutes. Very addictive, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
I really like Stack. I like that when you mess up, it's all your fault.
Yeah. But it seems like it's a very simple game, but you find that because you get into the mindset where you want to try and build up your tower as quick as possible, you end up making stupid mistakes, and it's really frustrating. You have to keep trying again. But it really is a lot of fun. I want to actually mention another app before we decide what apps we're going to be playing next week. This is a game called Headball Euro 2016, and this is a really, really addictive game. I have not been able to stop playing this week. Basically, you're matched against an opponent from somewhere around the world. It's a multiplayer online game. You can play offline modes as well, but the main fun comes from playing online. There's different leagues every week, and the people who finish in the top 20 get extra coins and things to use on unlocks and things. Basically, what it is, it's a 2D football game. It's you versus another player from, as I said, somewhere around the world. It's a football match, and you've got to try and score goals, basically, but the other player's blocking it, and they're trying to score in your goal. It's a very simple premise. There's only 3 buttons to hit. Obviously, you can move by... they obviously use virtual controls. You obviously can move your character, but the 3 main ways of scoring is by headering the ball, kicking the ball, as in lobbing it, or doing a low shot as well. And it may not sound good, but it's really, really addictive. It's very well done. I would say you do need to have a good internet connection for it to work properly, because if you have any lag, it can be really frustrating. You can also pay for, or you can, the more you play, the more currency you get in-game. You can use those to buy power-ups to make it easier to score, so you can make your goal, the other person's goal, bigger. You can freeze the other player for about 10 seconds, so it's easier to score and things like that. But it really is a good competitive multiplayer game, and it is a lot of fun and really addictive. I'll definitely recommend it. It's called Headball 2016.
I'm gonna look this up and pick this as my game to play this week.
You should, because it really is a lot of fun. I love online multiplayer games like this, like competitive multiplayer games. The only problem is I get really frustrated very easily. So there has been moments where I've conceded goals in the last minute to lose, where I've thrown my phone down in anger.
So this is online Headball by Masomo Gaming, is that right?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, it's called Headball Euro 2016 on the iOS.
I'll give it a play for next week.
Definitely do. It really is a lot of fun. So I'm going to look on my app store now, so the iOS app store, and find out what the 99th app is going to be for me to play next week. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's go on the top charts. Let's go on the top grossing section, because normally we get some good ones in there. If I scroll all the way down... Oh, actually, what's number 1? Let's see what's number 1 on the store. Oh, Spotify is number 1. How exciting. Right, so... number 99. Oh, it's actually called Online Headball. But when you open the app, it's just Headball Euro 2016. But if you want to search for it, just search Headball. You'll be able to find it. Right. So number 99 on the App Store this week is, oh, for fuck's sake, the Kylie Jenner official app.
Yes.
What is it with Kardashians? Seriously though, that Kardashian game I played previously, I did like that one. I think you played it for like 5 seconds and loved it as well.
I wasn't as keen as you are. I think.
I was well into it. Right, so I've been playing that. Also, so yeah, my app for this week is going to be the Kylie Jenner official app. I'm sure you can't wait for me to talk about that next week. And also, Chris is going to be playing Headball, online Headball, which is also a great game.
Can we play against each other on it?
Should be able to, yeah, because when you find a match, you get matched up with a random person. It tells you what device they're on. And it'll give a little iOS or a little Android symbol, so I should be able to play.
So we'll have to look into it.
Yes, that'd be fun. Right, so another game, and also Chris is going to be playing Headball. Yeah, your app's Headball, mine's Kylie Jenner, right?
Yeah.
I've also been dabbling in the new battle mode on Minecraft on PlayStation Vita. I thought I'd give that a bash because the update came last week. So for anyone who missed this, a new mini game has been added to Minecraft where it's a competitive online multiplayer mode called Battle Mode, where specifically designed maps are created. You're put in a map with up to 4 other players. 3 other players, sorry, it's 4 players in total, and treasure chests are placed around the map, and in them are randomly generated objects. So there can be wooden axes or potions or things like that. And you've got to use all these different bits of equipment to beat the other characters, basically. So it's a free-for-all deathmatch. You've got to use the equipment that's given to you to kill the other players. And I played it a couple of matches. I've had a bit of connection issues with the 2 games I did play. I've not gone back to it in a few days, but I got put into a game with one other guy. I spawned, he straight away ran up to me and killed me instantly. So that wasn't fun. Then on the second game, I got a wooden axe out of a chest. I chased after this guy. He turned around, faced me, and then it said I died. So that's been my experience of it so far. But what I will say is the maps that have been designed for battle mode really are very nice. They're set in like volcanoes and in palaces and things like this. So they are really cool. So I'll definitely be playing that a lot more this week. And as you should know, it is a free download for everyone who's already bought Minecraft. So if you've already got Minecraft, you'll get this battle mode for free. And I think it adds a nice extra element of gameplay to Minecraft, because obviously Minecraft is all about being creative and survival modes and things like that. But I'm glad that they're dabbling in different game modes, and they've said they're going to be releasing more mini games in the future, and you'll also be able to download new maps as well via DLC, paid for DLC as well. So we look forward to that. So that's been what I've been playing this week on my PlayStation Vita. Also, I'm going to be checking out a game called Grand Kingdom next week as well, and I'll discuss more about that once I've actually played it. Grand Kingdom is a tactical role-playing game, not role-playing game, RPG, I believe. I don't know much about it. I know there's quite a bit of hype about it. So yeah, watch this space because I'll be playing that next week. And also been playing Battlefront again on my Xbox because I still can't get enough of Battlefront. Absolutely love it.
I played Battlefront earlier because I haven't played it in ages, and I love that every time you go back, they're still adding more stuff. More guns, more maps.
Yes, I said last week about that massive update, and you mentioned it as well. Turns out what they actually added, I'm sure they added other features. They added some gameplay tweaks. They added extra features in gameplay, different game modes as well. But the 2 main things I noticed is that 2 extra heroes were added to the roster. 1 hero and 1 villain was added. So this is for the hero modes, and you can sometimes pick up hero pickups as well, which means you can be Darth Vader or Emperor Palpatine or Luke Skywalker. Whichever team you're on, you get to be a hero for a certain amount of time. But 2 extra heroes were added. One was I honestly can't remember his name. He was in the second Lando. He was added, and also I think his name is like Rayner. For the villain side, I didn't recognize him, but apparently he's a bounty hunter who works with Boba Fett. So he's cool. He has like bandages on his head, and he's called Rayner. His abilities are very similar to that of Greedo. I think it's Greedo. Who is it? Was that the guy who shot Han Solo?
Yeah, Greedo's the one who shot Han Solo.
Yeah, so his Rayner's abilities are very similar to Greedo's abilities. But it's cool that they've added these new characters. Obviously, you can only get them if you paid for them.
Yeah. I'll have to look it up because it's a funny one, isn't it? They do charge a lot for that season pass, but then is it worth it?
No, because every now and then they make it free to everyone anyway. Like they have like weekends where you can play all these maps for free. So I just think it's not really worth it, really, when I mean, the maps are nice, but I think the ones you get standard are fine. Anyway, really,
Well, Colin says Chris isn't allowed to buy the season pass, so there we go. Thanks, pal.
I think I saw some. I can't remember what game it was. It's a game where people are really excited about. Oh, that's it. Battlefield 1. Didn't they announce details of the DLC for that recently? Like, there's going to be a DLC or season. Oh, season. That's a season pass you can get for Battlefield 1. You know, the Battlefield 1s everyone's very excited about. But it's going to cost $40, I think. So pretty much the same price as a game. I think that was what it was. A lot of people were talking about this. A Battlefield 1 season pass. Obviously, Battlefield 1, everyone's very much looking forward to it. I swear there was some news on it. Oh, here we go. That's it. So there you can download. I'm assuming these are maps. It's called the French Faction gameplay for Battlefield 1, but it's going to be premium DLC, an expansion pack post-launch, and it's going to be $40, I believe. It's going to be. Oof. There's no price here, but it's going to be quite a lot from what I've heard. I mean, there's a little tally on here, a little questionnaire thing where people were asked whether they'd be buying just the game, Battlefield 1 and the season pass, or neither. And overwhelmingly, the winning result was neither. So there you go. So people obviously not happy with that. But people are excited for Battlefield 1. So there we go. Anyway, right, let's actually get on some news, shall we? And I'm going to let Chris take the lead on this. And he's going to tell me about something Nintendo-y, I'm sure.
Yeah, I was just reading this. Nintendo had its annual general meeting for the shareholders. So everyone who's got a stake in the company, obviously annual, they do this once a year. And it's a really good opportunity for like a lot of the shareholders go and kind of ask questions because it's, Nintendo is, a publicly traded company, so people can buy shares in it and are entitled to know what's going on. And there was this chap called Cheesemeister who'd been doing translating. So there's journalists there as well. And there's just some really interesting stuff here that they've talked about, some stats they've released, some kind of answers to questions. I won't do the whole thing, but I'll put up a link to where you can read it all. Nintendo Everything, who are a really good website, have done like a really nice write-up of all the questions that were asked and stuff. But some of the ones that took my eyes, 3DS sales have now passed 58 million, which is quite staggering. Like that's a lot for a machine that was initially kind of thought of as a bit of a flop. They asked the major bigwigs at Nintendo. Something I found quite interesting was they asked why are none of the board of directors female, which I thought was really interesting. And the answer was that they don't have females in the board of directors, but they do have lots of female employees, and their opinions are applied in product development, which is interesting, but maybe not as kind of satisfying an answer as you'd like. They also have said that they are making resolutions to focus less on how did they phrase it? Less on kind of making a wider market and more on getting the wide market to actually play Nintendo titles. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, the goal was to, here we go. The quote is that the goal was to expand the gaming population, regardless of age, gender, or experience. But now the focus is to increase the population who are exposed to Nintendo IPs. So, more publicizing and advertising of Nintendo products, which is good. Amiibo, there's been just under 25 million Amiibo sold, which is amazing. Pretty staggering. Pokemon Sun and Moon, they're talking out as their wins title. They're going to really push this Christmas. NX confirmed for worldwide launch in March next year. They also, interestingly enough, they were asked about what is going on with the president, because it was this time last year, that Iwata passed away, and then we had a new president called Kimishima who succeeded him, and they've kind of asked about that. It's really interesting. Nintendo Everything have done a really good write-up, so I kind of don't want to steal too much of their stuff, but I'll put a link on our website so you can read this. They also gave everyone who came a Mario towel, some Pikachu cookies, and some green tea, so that's pretty good.
Was that a Mario towel?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Cute actually. Yeah, it's what else is going on? It's pretty big. They said that 3DS sales haven't been great because there hasn't been very many big 3DS titles in the last year, which is fairly accurate.
Yeah.
They were happy with the success of Splatoon, Mario Maker, Twilight Princess HD. Obviously, they're affected quite a lot by the fluctuating price of the yen. So yeah, definitely read this write-up from Nintendo Everything. It's really interesting, and it's kind of gives you a really good view into the world of being a shareholders meeting, which we probably won't ever get to go to.
Did they bring up anything regarding mobile gaming? Because that's something kind of people have been wondering about. Whether
They
they're
did.
going to dabble more into mobile gaming.
They said that they're still full steam ahead with Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing mobile games coming this fall.
Yeah.
They want to make they want to make more synergy between the actual consoles and the smartphones. Nintendo will be used in theme parks, character goods, and film content, so that's quite exciting. The
Wii U is going to be a Nintendo theme park. Did we mention something about that?
Yeah. They're still working on it, I think, still chugging away. Yeah, it's interesting. Read the write-up if you get a spare 15 minutes, because there's some really good stuff on here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure whether this was brought up in this meeting, but I know I saw an article that Nintendo are looking into virtual reality. I don't know whether there's anything you've picked up on this week. I didn't read the ins and outs of it, but there was an article that I saw published online. I think it was today, actually, where Nintendo are looking into the potential of virtual reality and potentially with their next console, the NX. So that'd be interesting to see. I mean, obviously, they sort of I don't know the best way of saying this, but they were the ones that started the whole motion. The Wii, what sort of technology is that? Motion detecting?
Motion control, yeah.
Motion control, yeah. They were the people who really started that, and obviously the Wii was ridiculously successful. So it'd be interesting to see what Nintendo would do. I don't know why, but I think if Nintendo were to do something with virtual reality, I think I would trust it a bit more than, say, obviously what Sony are working on and potentially Microsoft will be working on in the future, because Nintendo just have a good track record with things like that. And you just know, like, all the games that Nintendo would create with virtual reality would just be lovely, just really nice games, like in like a nice colorful world, like with Zelda or Mario or whatever. Can you imagine like Mario Kart, like virtual reality? That would be pretty cool.
I'd be well up for that. Yeah, it's
That'd be
interesting,
amazing.
isn't it?
Well, I guess we wait and see. But yeah, it's really interesting what they've said. I mean, I think Splatoon. You played Splatoon, didn't you? You had that?
Yeah, I played a lot of Splatoon last year.
Do you still play it?
I liked it. Not really. I would like them to do another one. I'd be up for a sequel.
I think they are making a second one, if I remember.
I guess we'll see what happens.
That's a shame. Right, well, that's interesting, but I guess I should talk about something PlayStation Vita. And I'm going to start off with a very simple...
Yeah, what's going on?
A very simple and straightforward news article which came out today. We have the PlayStation Plus lineup for July. Woo! So everyone who's got PlayStation Plus,
Hooray!
These are the 3 games you're going to be getting if you have a PlayStation Vita. 2 games. First, we have Prince of Persia Revelations. That's a PSP title, which obviously will be coming to PlayStation Vita. And also Orishika Tainted Bloodlines as well will be coming out as well. I don't really know much about Orishika Tainted Bloodlines. I mean, I've heard about it. I've heard it mentioned, but I've never actually played it. I'm just going to quickly do a cheeky little Google search, get some information.
Weirdly, I remember you talking about it on this very show.
Yeah, I do. It does ring a bell. But let's have a look. So Orishika Tainted Bloodlines, also known as Ore non Shirabane or Koete Yoke 2 in Japan. It's a Japanese role-playing game which came out exclusively to PlayStation Vita and came out in 2014 in Japan. And it's a sequel to the original game, which was called Ori no Shikabane Okote Yuki, which was released in 1999 for PlayStation. So there you go. It's a role-playing game, and it's very colourful. It looks like it's set on a pirate ship, which is nice. So there you go. So that's free on PlayStation Plus this week. Be very interested to know if people are happy with that lineup. I know in over the past few months, people have been very unsatisfied with PlayStation Plus. I think Chris made the point that ever since customers or PlayStation owners had to pay to play games online, the quality of games on PlayStation Plus has gone down dramatically. I'm not sure what your thoughts are on. I mean, you still have PlayStation.
Yeah,
you have the PlayStation.
Yeah, I think this looks a lot better actually. I think it's got some good titles, and I think they focus less on. I think you feel like if you want A games, then Saints Row is pretty good.
Call of Juarez, Bound by Blood. Wasn't that game completely
Call of
panned?
Juarez.
Juarez, wasn't that completely panned by critics? I remember.
I was under the impression people liked the first one and then disliked the second one.
Wasn't it originally set in like the Wild West, but then the second one was set in like modern day LA or something, and people hated it?
that sounds right. Or was there was some weirdness to it.
Saints Row, Gat Out of Hell, Fury, and Fat Princess are also on PlayStation Plus. That's for PS3 and PS4, respectively. So there you go. So
there was the Cartel set in modern day Los Angeles. You're spot on.
That
absolutely.
I thought it looked really cool. And before I buy a game, I normally look at the reviews, and I saw the reviews like, maybe I will not buy that because it didn't review very well. Anyway, so that's what you're getting for free if you own a PlayStation 4 and you play online. So there you go. I'm going to quickly do another news story as well because that one was quite short. Let's talk about a little game called Lumo, which me and you have spoken about over the past few months. Very excited for this. We finally have a release date. For those of you who don't know, it's an isometric puzzle game from developer Triple Air. That's their name, Triple Air, with a question mark at the end. This game originally came out for PC and PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and it's now coming to PlayStation Vita, and we have a release date. It's July the 5th, so not much time to wait for that. It's next week. That'll be coming out. It was showcased at EGX last year. Just going to get some details of it here. And it takes inspiration from classic 80s, 90s games, and it very much feels like a 90s puzzler. But what's interesting about this is I believe this is the game where you have to navigate different rooms, and there's loads of different security everywhere. So it's like a 2.5D isometric game, and it looks really, really pretty. And we've put links to this. We put videos on articles previously, but I am really looking forward to this. I'm surprised that this isn't coming on PlayStation Plus, to be honest with you, because I know Sony are very keen to put new indie releases on PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Vita. But it's a shame this one won't be coming to PlayStation Vita, PlayStation Plus, sorry. But it looks a lot of fun, and we'll link the trailer for it in the article. But it's called Lumo, and for people who love 90s, 80s style puzzle games, or just like pretty looking, magical, mystical things, I'm sure you'll enjoy this. But what's so cool is that when there's all these different rooms and all these different locations, in the background there's a cool starry night galaxy look to everything. So you're pretty much looks like you're playing in space, and the main character looks like a little wizard. So it does look really cool. So that's called Lumo, and that's coming out to PlayStation Vita in the West on July the 5th, which I believe is next Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm sure Chris will tell me
when July the 5th is.
Yes.
July the 5th is next Tuesday, Colin.
Wow. See you next Tuesday. Anyway. Right. So that's the two news I want to talk about straight away. Chris, over to you.
So, Colin, let's lead with this because this is big. IGN and a bunch of other places, but I'm just having a little browse of the IGN article, are reporting that a new Professor Layton game is underway. Oh boy, everyone loves Professor Layton. Professor Layton, you know, the hat-wearing detective running around different towns doing reporting and puzzle solving. Sometimes, you know, there's all sorts going on. There's always a very good storyline. It's pretty cheap. And we have found out this week that they are working on a new Professor Layton game. Here's the twist, Colin. Okay.
Yeah. What's the twist?
What do you expect in a Professor Layton game?
What do you expect? I'd expect puzzles, a little companion, a young boy companion maybe, and Professor Layton himself.
So those are the three things that you would kind of hope for in a Professor Layton game.
Yeah, I'll be a bit upset if Professor Layton wasn't in a Professor Layton game, to be honest.
How upset would you be, just so I know?
Oh, God. I'll be mildly infuriated.
Because they are working on it. I'm just reading the article on my phone because everything's been a bit rubbish on the computer. They are working on a new Professor Layton game. It's been confirmed this week. However, it's going to have a new main character. So will it still be Professor Layton?
So
who knows?
Layton then? Do you reckon it's going to be like his sister or his son or daughter or his partner or something? Someone who has the same name.
Who knows?
So it has to be called Professor Layton, just someone else, not him.
this is being teased by a chap from Level 5 who make Professor Layton and some other great games. The new game will part of the main series, but it's not going to star the Professor. It's going to have, they've shown some concept stuff, including this kind of new, I don't know who she is, a young lady. It won't be Professor Layton. It won't be his son Alfendi, who, if you remember, was in the Mystery Room mobile games. So it could be anyone. It could be you. It could be me. Who knows? But a new Professor Layton game is coming, which is very exciting.
Now, the thing that really creeps me out about Professor Layton is his eyes. They are quite cold and scary.
Yeah, it's weird because it's just a block of like a block black circle, aren't they?
There's no warmth in those eyes. It's cold. There's no love.
Yeah, more info on this summer. Level 5 announces in like a stream this week, unscheduled and without any platform, so we don't know what it's going to be on.
Nice. Well, that's just splendid. Professor Layton without Professor Layton. What will they think of next? Pokemon
I
games?
reckon it could be you'll still be related to the Layton family, I reckon. Maybe like a niece or something.
It's not as if I just said that, Chris, but thank you very much for stealing my thunder. Anyway, yeah.
Hey, Colin, if they make a new one, maybe you'll play as like a niece or someone like that.
That's a great idea. Really is a top idea. That is why you're employed by a big old London corporation, and I'm struggling to make ends meet down in the south. Vote leave. Anyway.
What else is happening in the world of Vita?
I saw that little face.
I didn't call you racist. You decided you were. What? Okay, what's happening?
Anyway, so something I completely forgot to mention at the beginning of this podcast is the fact that the game Inside, which is from my boys over at Playdead, who were the team behind Limbo, one of my favorite games of 2013, I think it came out now. It's quite a while ago now. For those of you who don't know, Limbo was a very eerie, black and white silhouette puzzle game where you're a young boy in a sort of you don't really know where you are, but it's a weird world where there's massive creatures and people trying to attack you. But I absolutely love that game. I know Chris wasn't too fussed about Limbo because he thought it was a bit too artsy fartsy for his liking. But
it's a Colin, I like you. That game is a little bit wanky.
Well, not Limbo, sorry. Inside is it's not the sequel, but it's the game that follows Limbo. It's their next game by Playdead. They haven't made one since Limbo. It's been 5 years in the making, this game. And I'm happy to say it released today, actually, for Xbox One. And the reviews have been absolutely ridiculously positive. Absolutely insane. I've seen ratings of 10 out of 10, 9s out of 10, 8 out of 10. The lowest I've seen is 8 out of 10 for this. And I'm looking on Metacritic at the moment for Inside. It's got 43 critic reviews. Every single one is positive at the moment. There's 2 user reviews, both 10 out of 10s. Seriously, I am so pumped to play this game. I loved Limbo. It looks very similar sort of art style, but it's very interesting. The reviews I've read for Inside have said it's similar to Limbo. Like, not many things are answered. You're not really told where you are. You just go with it as soon as the game starts. You're right in head first. But on a few of the reviews, apparently there are quite a few twists throughout. And they said they don't want to ruin anything, and they actually say they encourage people to play the game as soon as possible, so the twists aren't spoiled for you. Mm-hmm. So I really want to start playing this game ASAP. It's currently priced at £15.99 on Xbox One, which personally I think that's a bit high. I would have liked about 10 quid, maybe. I think 15.
But how can you say that when you've not played it?
I know, but if it's similar to Limbo only lasts about a couple of hours. It was, I think, an hour and a half, 2 hours long, depending on how crap you are, because you constantly die in that game. So yeah, I mean, I'm still going to play it because I'm really excited. I loved Limbo. I love Playdead Studios. I think they're a fantastic developer, and the reviews have just sold me basically, and I cannot wait to give this game a go. But yeah, so on Xbox One at the moment, that's the only platform it's on currently. I'm sure I think it's coming to PC at some point in the future, but I can't wait. I mean, the summary of it here says, hunted and alone, a boy finds himself drawn into the center of a dark project, the second game from Limbo developer Playdead. Wouldn't it be awesome? Here's my prediction, that at the end of the game, it turns out that this is actually a prequel to Limbo.
Oh, great. That would be just great. What a bloody treat for everyone, Colin.
Shut up. Anyway, so I mean, Limbo sort of hints that your character had died potentially, and he was in like a
Oh,
sort of
thanks.
limbo area. I mean, come on, that's everyone's fault. That.
Spoilers.
Oh, come on, man. That's not been confirmed. It's just suspicion.
Sorry, no, there's people who won't have played this game and you just ruined it for them.
No,
Like
I'm talking
me.
about Limbo. So maybe in Inside, maybe we find out the fate of the character in Limbo. But maybe not. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. But I can't wait to play it. I'm sure there'll be a lot of deaths in game because the thing about Limbo is that sometimes the only way to get past a certain area was to like die a few times, like to do some test runs to find out how to do it properly. I'm sure we'll have that again in this one here. But if anyone out there has played Inside, I'd really love to hear your thoughts on it because I'm really excited about it. And I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And if you have any thoughts, if you have played it, then email us, heroesofhandheld@gmail.com. Right, so that wasn't actually one of my news stories, but something that is one of my news stories is the fact that the game Adventures of Mana, I think it's Mana, M-A-N-A, has arrived on PlayStation Vita, and this has surprised a lot of Vita owners because this sort of came out without any fanfare. For those of you who don't know, Adventures of Mana is a remake of the 1991 game, and that game was called Final Fantasy Adventure. So this is like a remake of that game, and this was released to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Mana series. Now, this is a series of games that I'm not very familiar with. But on this article, it says that it's a very long-running and famous Square Enix franchise, and apparently it's arguably the most famous entry in the series, this game. So, saying here that arguably the most famous entry in the series is Secret of Mana, which regularly appears in the list of best games ever made lists. So this game, Adventures of Mana, came out today, I think, actually yesterday, sorry, in North America and was out in Europe on Monday. A lot of people are really happy about this and very surprised because there was no build up to it. It was just there was an announcement, it was released, and it just appeared on the store. I mean, it was announced a few months ago that this was coming to PlayStation Vita, but there was no build-up, no teaser trailers, nothing. It just released, and here it is. So for those of you who are fans of the original, I'm sure you'll be excited about this. It's got updated graphics, some very colorful 3D art design on here. And as I said, it's to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the beginning of the first game of the Mana series, which was this game, but initially it was called Final Fantasy Adventure. So there you go. And it says here, the PlayStation Vita version includes enhanced 3D visuals because the original was in 2D. It also has revamped menus, which I know that's what everyone wants from a new game, is revamped menus, and a rearranged soundtrack from the game's original composer. So that's really cool. And it does look really nice. I'm looking at the art style here. It looks very colorful, very pretty. So yeah, check that out today. It's called Adventures of Mana, and it's out on PlayStation Vita now.
Whew. Keen. I think it's pronounced Manar, though.
No way is it Manar. Is it really?
Yeah, Adventures of Manar.
Manar. But it's man, then A at the end. Mana. Manet.
I've got a couple of releases to talk about. Should you have the time,
Colin Ben.
So, first of all, Super Ghouls and Ghosts is now out on the new Nintendo 3DS. This is obviously it's a virtual console release. It's the third in the series. Excuse me, Ghosts and Goblins. It's pretty popular amongst the kids. It's now out on the eShop if you're so inclined and you own a new 3DS. We'll put a link up to the thingamabob. But more interestingly, Colin,
yes,
is Shovel Knight, which we love on this podcast, especially me. But in general, it's a pretty loved game. A lot of people like it a lot. Finally has a Japanese release date, which is pretty exciting, all things considered. So if you're in Japan and you want to get your hands on this game, everyone's been talking about it, and you're like, how do I get to play this thing? Well, worry no more, Colin, because we have a release date.
Wow, what is the release date? Please tell me.
Well, I'm just waiting for the link to load, so I was trying to do a little bit of filling. In the meanwhile, Colin, what's your favourite thing about Shovel Knight?
Well, personally, I like the fact how it combines my two favourite things: knights. I do love knights, and I'm a really big fan of shovels as well.
30th of June.
There you go.
It comes out today. It comes out tomorrow. If you're in Japan and you want to get your hands on it, there's different versions of the game as well, packaged with the amiibo and stuff. And here's right. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Here's why I bloody love Yacht Club games, right? Because not only is this game finally coming out in Japan, but they've just announced a survey where you can choose where you can kind of pick and steer them in the direction of what new game you want them to make next. So there's loads of options on here: Shovel Knight 2, Shovel Knight and Shield Knight, Shovel Kart, and then different, kind of games that they'd like to be inspired by. So I'll put a link to this, because if there's something you really want to see from that team, this is the way to vote for it, I think. And Shovel Knight's been such a success that obviously they've got all the money to throw at one of these new projects, and it'd be very exciting. I'm going to fill that out later on. I really want Shovel Kart. But right, Colin, you know what? Here's the thing, okay? We've done the jokes about the World Cup and all that stuff. But here's the real big news, okay?
Lay it on me.
Stickman Super Athletics.
Oh, shit.
This is
way.
huge. This is, just massive. And we have a release date. It's hitting the European 3DS eShop on August the 4th.
To coincide with the actual Olympics. That is some fantastic marketing. Fantastic planning.
All we have to go on for this game is a single GIF that Coda Child have put on Twitter, which is of a stickman hurdling over a hurdle. It's pretty exciting times if you're into your super athletics.
Where is this picture? I need that in my life.
You can see it by going to heroesofhandheld.com. We'll embed the GIF from Coda Child, who are a video game dev company. This could be the hit of the summer.
This would be a treat. Uncle Moe's. Anyway, sorry. Right, so let me load this up. I want to see this. Is it on the Google Drive?
It is 4th of August this game comes.
Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
I'm so excited. I mean, you've got Stickman, you've got hurdling. There's all manners of potential other things they could get up to. Who knows?
Where's the? Oh, there's the GIF. I'm about to watch it. Oh! He jumps it. He did it again.
He jumps it.
He
bloody jumps it.
Oh, he's falling behind. Oh no, the hurdle's gone. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. I like how they've even got the little camera at the side as well.
It's very exciting, isn't it?
It's just like one of those flash games you play back in 2005 when you're at school. Like addictinggames.com or miniclip.com. What else was there? Newsgrounds. It's like one of those. Wow. It
has got that kind of slightly shit vibe, hasn't it?
Slightly. There. Wow. So there you go. But that's pretty nice. It's coming out at the same time as the actual Olympics in August. And I hope it can be as good as Sonic and Mario at the Olympics.
Well, nothing quite could be, but
no,
we can but try.
Talking about, this doesn't link at all. But I'm going to say anyway. I saw you got some fancy new footwear this week. Yeah,
I finally invested in some Nintendo Vans.
Well, I'm a bit annoyed because last week or the week before, there's a Vans shop in my local town. And a few weeks ago, they had a big old poster at the front promoting the Nintendo shoes, a big picture of Mario and Princess Peach and all that. And I was going to take a picture of it, but I couldn't because someone was standing in front of it, looking at it with his partner. And I was really annoyed because I thought this would be a great picture to put on the Heroes of Handheld Twitter handle. And also inside this Vans shop, they even had a Wii U set up. That's some great marketing there.
The actual shoes, some really sold out fast as well.
Yeah, there was
especially in kind of like adult men's size.
Yeah, last week I had another look in there, and they're all gone. So I don't know whether it's because they're limited edition or the fact they just sold out.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's cool that you got some. How much were they, if you don't mind me asking?
I paid just they retail at I think 50, but I have a thing off which I'll tell you off air, so it wasn't quite 50.
You stole them, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Bloody stole them.
Yeah, you got me.
When there was riots last week because of the referendum, you went into a van, you smashed the glass and got them, and you ran away and you took a very pleasant picture and put it on your Twitter. It all makes sense now, Chris. It all makes sense.
I've got two things and then I'm done. So I want to mention these and then I'll drop the mic and you can do your bits, you know.
My bits, yeah, I'll do my bits.
If you go to the Heroes of Handheld website, you can see two new trailers, which are for 3DS things that are dropping this week. Link's Awakening DLC is coming to Hyrule Warriors, which looks very exciting, and also ZTD, which is Zero Time Dilemma or Zero Escape 3, which is also out on PS Vita as well. I don't know when it's out on Vita, but it's out on 3DS this week. You can see a little trailer for it. It's one of those visual novels. It's got these people, they've got things around their necks, there's timers. It looks very menacing, but you know, I'll put a link up on the old thing. There is actually, I'm just skipping to a random point in the trailer, and you just see these people struggling with things, you know, around their necks. There's statues with guns in their stomach, and then there's this bit where, and it's just, this is the thing with these games, Colin. There's two people who are obviously choking, and then this woman's just wearing a top, which is just a bra and a zip underneath it. What is going on?
That is quite fabulous.
Like, if you watch the trailer, skip to 43 seconds. This is why people don't take these games seriously.
What's the game called?
You just click the link on Heroes of Handheld. It's Zero Time Dilemma.
Oh, Zero Time Dilemma. This game was... Sorry, I wasn't actually listening to you because you're boring. But that's the game I was looking forward to, Zero Escape 3. That's the game where they're all stuck in that bunker and only a certain amount of them can survive.
That's exactly right.
And what do you say is happening there? There's bras. People are wearing bras?
Skip to 43 seconds in.
I gotta see this because I didn't think it was that sort of game at all, but it turns out
I don't think it is
100%,
safe. But there's a bit, you know.
Let's have a look. Right, so I'm skipping forward. I think the reviews have already started coming in, and we're getting just above average review scores at the moment, which is a shame because I think it looks really interesting. So where's the bra? I want to see some bra. Where is? Oh, wow. Was she drinking blood? The hell's that?
Who knows? It's a mad trailer.
God, that is. And there's a dog. It's a cute dog. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. Wow. Anyway, there you go. So Zero Escape 3. It's coming soon. I think it's out already. Actually, check it out today.
We'll put a link on the thing. Don't worry, Colin. Have you got any more news?
One more piece of news. A game is coming to PlayStation Vita, which is always nice to hear. This one's called 2064 Read Only Memory. So a very catchy title that everyone's going to remember. It's coming from a company called Midboss. It's coming to PS4 as well, and it's coming out this August. So it's an RPG story-based game, and the developer says that it's for fans of games such as The Walking Dead, the Telltale's The Walking Dead, Phoenix Wright, and Dragon Age. So basically anyone who loves a good story and interesting characters. So the plot for this game is that you are hurled into a mystery that quickly escalates until you're in well over your head. You play the role of a journalist trying to find your missing friend while uncovering the truth and hopefully a good story. This journey takes you through the places and people of Neo San Francisco in the year 2064. As you explore, you'll meet a host of colorful characters that may help or hinder your path to the answers you're seeking. So it's very interesting. This is a story-driven game. Looking at the art style, there's a lot of text in this game. So similar to the story-based games that we know and love. It looks very 80s style game, 90s style game. There's robots, there's cool looking characters, there's spacey things as well. So sounds really interesting. It looks quite cool as well. And I mean, the art style actually looks a bit, well, in my opinion, a bit naff, but the story sounds interesting. So definitely be keeping my eyes peeled for that. It's coming out in August, and it's called 2064 Read Only Memories, and it's joining the big old indie family on PlayStation Vita, which is nice to hear. So that's all my news done. So you know what, Chris? I think I'm going to drop the mic. There we go. I dropped the mic.
Great. Best. Well, it's very. I think we've done very well, given how fucked the country is. You know.
Now, here's the thing: we might not actually be here next week because we might have been. Well, I'm worried that England is going to. No, Scotland's going to separate itself from England, and we're going to sail away towards America into the Atlantic Ocean. So, if that happens, then we may not be able to do the podcast next week. But otherwise, we should be here next week. Hopefully. Hopefully we won't all burn in a pit of fire and people will actually calm down. Hopefully.
Or anyone who's not British/white will be out of the country.
Controversial for a video game podcast.
Well, that's apparently the direction that 52% won.
And on that note, Boris Johnson for Prime Minister. I'm outie.
Oh, it's just the worst. Do you not just wake up in the morning feeling shit? Like legit question.
I'm not gonna lie. When I woke up and found out the result, I did feel quite scared. You know, the feeling of like fear. It's weird, like a feeling of dread for what's to come in the future. You know, it's interesting. But that's for another podcast for another day. But at least we've got video games to distract us whilst we slowly die in a pit of anger and fury and the revolts and the riots that are going to begin.
Yeah.
Well, I'm fine because Dan Riley, everyone voted to leave anyway. Woo! Woo! So I'm safe.
Lovely, safe Colin and lovely, safe Bournemouth. All those lovely, safe old people messing everything up for everyone else.
Oh, how selfish of old people to not think about. Won't
Vote.
someone please think of the children? Anyway. Right, that's enough politics for one podcast. We are out of here. So, if Chris wants to do the end of show bits.
Hi, Colin.
Bye.
No, I said hi.
I said bye. Hi, Chris.
Hi. You're a good friend of Heroes of Handheld, but if you want to engage with more, why not tweet us at Handheld Podcast? You can also write us a little private message, Heroes of Handheld @gmail.com. Stick it in the post box and it'll work its way to our castle. You can visit us, heroesofhandheld.com, should you like to check out our website with links and videos and more. And Colin Byrne, our music is composed by the Schnauzer Radio Orchestra, who are bloody great. So you should check out some of their tunes on iTunes. We have a Facebook page you can like, and you can do, if you like the podcast, do rate us on iTunes or something like that. It'd be nice to know what people think.
It would be. And just so you're aware, the Schnauzer Radio Orchestra have a new album out. I say new, I think it's been out for about a year, but it's called Robot Cocktail Party. So definitely check it out as well. And it's very good. And if you loved the album where our theme song Insert Coin is from, which is called Music from a 50s Video Game, you're going to love his new album. It really is. Do. Because how's the theme song for IndieCast?
Oh, yeah. That is
remember that?
Awkward.
Remember it? I used to have a shower, strip naked, and then record it in a darkened room. And you think I'm joking. I'm really not. Anyway, thank you for listening, everybody. Have we said all the ways to contact us?
Yes.
Well, I don't think you have, but I like to give you a jab. Let's get out of here. Thank you for listening. We're back next week. Goodbye.
Boy.